Hi everyone. The other day on Facebook I posted I suppose I was reaching out to see if anyone had any questions with regards to fitness, because I was going to make a Q&A type video, and I guess I was deliberately just going to see if there was a trend in questions, and I could spend a long time answering each question individually, and I do want to help with some of the questions. But what was interesting was that a typical trend in any sort of fitness Q&As that I've been involved in the past is the trend of what should I do questions. So things like should I do longer workouts or shorter workouts? How often should I train? Should I do strength workouts? What program is best to follow? What ought I do in order to get the best results, or what is the sort of benefit from following one program over another? So first of all, it's a pity that there is so much confusion out there, but sometimes I wonder, is it how we're looking at things, or how we're I suppose evaluating our own success and where our goals are, our expectations of what we're currently doing. Are we just always wondering whether there's a better solution out there that we're not trying, and then we see somebody else suggest something that works for them and their clients, and oftentimes, you know, they want to package it and market it in a way that makes it seem like the holy grail of all the programs in the world. And, you know, more often than not, I find myself answering questions, first of all, with an honest answer: it depends. So there is no one size fits all, and this is, you know, why I wanted to put that question out there to start with on Facebook, because I just knew that these questions would come up, so that's what I wanted to deal with. So I wrote down a few points of my thoughts on how you can answer that question for yourself. And there are going to be times when I'm getting a client who's wanting something, that I always start with a questionnaire. So if somebody's hiring me online to be their coach, they tell me their goal, I don't just have mapped out what might work for them. I ask them questions. So here's some questions you can ask yourself. What seems doable for you? How's this going to fit in with my life? Is that goal realistic? And then when you're looking at other ways of training, then you can sort of look at the overall message that you get from these sort of typical sources or sort of resources, whether it be my blog, other blogs, other fitness people in maybe your gym, people telling you this is better than that. People love to be right about stuff that works, that has worked for them, and they really hold on to that in a way that if anyone else is doing something different, they're very protective of it, and they almost feel like it's an attack on them because you're not doing the same as them. I used to do this too, so look down on people if they were doing cardio, too much cardio, or eating like 6 meals a day, and I was doing intermittent fasting because it was working for me at that time, things like this. So you do get on your high horse about certain methods, so it's time to just let that go and say, well, where am I at now, and what am I really prepared to change about my life? So I suppose when you look at overall trends in the messages that you're getting from the fitness world and the circle that you're in, is say for example, is weight training generally considered better for physique, getting toned, than just cardio on its own? Who is saying it? And, you know, be a little critical about who's saying this stuff. Like, look into, first of all, who are they to say this? Why are they saying it? Is it just simply that it worked for them? Or have they got other evidence behind it that they can then, and even making claims like this really works for all my clients? Well, generally speaking, if you get a beginner, somebody who's not as experienced or somebody new to that type of training, yes, you're going to see results, and to turn around and then say, oh, this works for everyone, is not taking into consideration the bigger picture, because how realistic it maybe work for them while they're working with you, but then if they go off and do it themselves, then everything falls apart because it's not something that's going to fit in with their lifestyle. Or they maybe don't have the equipment, they maybe don't have the motivation to really do this type of training long term. So who's saying it, and also you can kind of look at why they're saying it, and also whether or not they're selling this idea, and are they selling a style of training, making wondrous claims about it, and what is their selling history, and how do they sell this typically? Do they put themselves on a pedestal like a bit of a guru, saying that, or do they sort of knock other people down, and sort of, you can kind of gauge whether or not you can trust somebody. And I think trust is a huge factor to this. And are there, when you're asking questions, are long workouts better than short workouts, or a variety? And well, really, those all depend as well, because one of my weekly Skype calls with one of my clients, he asks me questions all the time, and I always start them with, it depends. Just being honest, because is being happy with my training style more important than all of those things? Not necessarily all of them. There are going to be certain standards, as in resistance training is proven to give you better results, but then within that, then you've got, how do I train? Do I use kettlebells? Do I do higher reps? Do I do more sets of low reps? How about the volume, the frequency? All of these confusing things, and those are the things you can adjust yourself. It's a little bit of trial and error. Use yourself and experiment, because I can tell you what I think might work best for you. You try it and you don't like what's happening, or you don't like the results, so it's not fun. So then you're like, well, is there anything else I can try? And often it takes a little journey within itself. And as I've experienced too, I've tried lots of different types of training. Bodybuilding style, body part splits, lots of cardio, lots of intervals, kettlebells, short workouts frequently, or longer workouts less frequently. I've done a little bit of a mixture, and I've got results from all of them. And I cannot say that it was the exercises and the training style that was necessarily the secret to my results, because my sleep was different, I ate differently, stress was different in my life. I was doing it according to the time I had available, and quite often I was training after night shift. So any wonder, I don't know if I got very good results, but I was certainly able to maintain good strength and good performance throughout, and it didn't really come down to what I was doing. So the results are important, of course. That's what we kind of start with, making sure our goals are realistic. Ask yourself why. Why is this goal important? And then once you get that question, kind of assess that, well, why is that even so important? And you can kind of boil it down to really what's underneath, what's driving that goal in the first place. And then be realistic about what you can maintain over a long period of time. If you're not consistent with any sort of training, because it's too much to ask of you to fit this in around your family, with maybe your job or your course that you're doing, then there's no point to it. If you can't fit it in and be consistent, if it's not something you look forward to doing. I know we don't always look forward to doing stuff, but then we have to just sort of make sure that this is something I can consistently do. That may be shorter workouts. And cost. So the cost of having a little gym in my garage was a lot. It's not as much as 2 years membership maybe in a gym, depending on where you go. And I thought that was worth it, because I have to drive 30 minutes to that gym, and the gym's busy. Although I did enjoy going to the gym, it wasn't worth it once I balanced it up, and plus I am training clients, so for my business it makes more sense. But if you're living in a small apartment, you might not be able to fit in any equipment, maybe just 1 or 2 kettlebells. Then you have to ask yourself, am I going to join a gym? Can I make that investment? If not, what can I do at home to make the most of this space that I have and the money that I have. There's so many things that come into this, and then often you can go through a very strict program. You can reach your goal, say it's lowering your body fat percentage to a certain level, and then what? Then what? How do you maintain that? So if you want to just reach a goal for the sake of it, or if you want to maintain it, these are questions you have to ask yourself. So whenever people ask me what's the best program to follow, find what you like, find what gives you results, and something that you can stick to. And it can change. You know, it doesn't matter if you start something. That doesn't mean that you can't just say, okay, I don't really like this, and change it. We're not stuck in what we decide. We have freedom to decide lots of different things, and even mix and match if we want. I know people who aren't interested in following any sort of program. They just love to do the workouts. They like doing something different every day, and they enjoy that. And you know, they can adjust their results by other means. So getting more rest, maybe, eating better, sleeping better, and concentrating on the things that you have, the things that you enjoy. So these are all great questions to ask yourself, or ask of the person who's selling you something, or selling you an idea, a concept of a training style. You'll be like, well, is that something I'm ever going to really do? It may claim to make these, give me the most amazing body, but there's many people who had amazing bodies before they did that type of training, and with another type of training. And I know that I personally like shorter workouts that don't last for ages, bit of strength, bit of conditioning, because it's fun, it's not boring. You're just sort of jumping from one exercise to the next, or doing circuits, doing pyramids, doing, you know, things that are a bit more fun. To me, I'm not saying that therefore everyone should do my style of training. Obviously I want people to go onto my site and I want them to enjoy my workouts. Some people just follow my workouts and they get good results. Other people use my workouts as supplements to their own training, or for even their deload week. I have online clients who train and they I do their program that comes different from the type of training I do on the blog, and then on a deload week I say pick and choose. Pick and choose 2 strength and 2 conditioning from the site. That's your week off, that's your fun week, and then we go into more of a structured workouts then after that. So they can be used in any way they want. So that, I think I've talked on long enough, 12 minutes. Okay, I don't realise I talk so much, but hopefully that can help, and I can help answer some more specific questions in another video. There's questions on choosing weights for kettlebells. What should you buy? How will you see this? Another one, how often should I hip thrust? That also depends. So what I would say for some of these is try something. Try doing it and then see if you get results. And what I would like to say just at the very end is, if you can get the results you need by doing less, then that's far better. Because although we like training, nobody wants to be in the gym all day. Okay, so that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoy, hopefully you can take away some points from it and be able to apply it then when you're finding these sort of grey areas, not sure where to turn. Just make a choice and then you can always change your mind. And it all depends on your goals and where you're starting and your skills and money and everything. So I can't answer any of these questions honestly. Obviously if I was dishonest I would say that my workouts give you everything you ever need. You don't need to go anywhere else, and kettlebells are free. So that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoy it, and I'll be back soon with more.